is front page of the Daily Mail today. It says Britain's forces not ready for conflict of any scale. Any scale they're talking about here.
It's really strange because the defence budget used to be... The defence nuclear budget in Thatcher's time was huge. I remember Michael Hirst sending up when I was at school saying, our budget, you can run round the world 3 times with the amount of money we're spending on nuclear defence here. Dominic Lawson had a big piece because he had a lunch, a think tank, with the head of defence for in America, well, the shadow American defence officer, and he was like, well, look, all this whole NATO thing, Trump, Ukraine, we wouldn't be in, we're taking you out. France, Germany, you're out, or if you're in, we're going to charge you for money that you've not paid. And then for Britain, who exists as an island, we're saying that our forces are not ready for conflict of any scale, and yet we still send money to the Ukraine to help them fight that war. It's really quite worrying.
I think for a country so proud of its military, I mean, historically at least anyway, you know, our military and our defence has been one of the best in the world. I mean, we're renowned all over the world for being such a fantastic military.
Just the trooping of the colour.
Well, exactly.
Look at all the cavalry, the household cavalry, all the soldiers that we have, the RAF.
Yeah, and to see it be so dilapidated, it's quite sad, actually. I think it really isn't what the British public want. I know the British public love a strong British military, and I think not only do we need to invest more, particularly at a time where the world seems like it's on a knife's edge, we do need to invest more in our own defence, but also we need to invest in our veterans and show people that go into the military that there is a life for you afterwards.
Investing more means taxing more. So that's, you know, or you know, how are you going to pay for this? I mean, the government...
Well,
I'm just saying, you know,
I do agree.
This was Rob Johnson that they're quoting. He was tasked by the government as part of their own fold to make this assessment of the forces. He concluded they're not ready for conflict, and they use this as an example to say, well, Putin's hoping that Labour will get in. You know, I think that's quite a jump to make.
I think this whole, like, Putin fear-mongering thing across the elections is really getting a bit old for the public. I don't think it sells. I think what people want to hear is sensible solutions to the problems we have.
And is Rishi's Bring Back National Service a solution to it?
I do. I actually think there's an element of the national service thing that I really agree with, and I would have loved to have done it. I don't think it should be forced on every young person, because I think that's the wrong way to do it. But I think that there's an element of that would really help a lot of young people, not only give them the skills they need, but also show some people that there's a good life for you in the military that can contribute well to British society in other areas as well. You know, like there's plenty of charities that need support. And there's lots of kids who can't get jobs. Let's be real.
And there's lots of kids living in poverty.
There is indeed.
On that subject, Gordon Brown says give our children hope by voting Labour. He says 3 million children do without meals due to a lack of food. Well, you would do that. Due to lack of money, I would have thought. That means...
But any child that's suffering, any child that is without education, any child that's without basic shelter, water, food in this country today is an absolute... abhorrence. Really should not be happening.
Well, you see, Claire, I didn't believe it was happening, and then I'm involved in a charity that does
in Belfast.
Work. No. That's another one. That's a food shelter. Yeah. But I've been around these food shelters, and you think, well, who can't afford to give a kid a bowl of cornflakes in the morning, whatever it is? The answer seems to be plenty. And it's not just Belfast. It's Barnsley. It's Bradford. It's everywhere. It's Bolton. And it is absolutely incredible. People who just don't seem to be able to provide this.
I think it goes back to education, though, and I think it goes back to the housing crisis. And if people don't have properly built homes with good functioning kitchens, they can't cook, they can't prepare. And if you don't have decent shops within these housing estates that can offer the vegetables, the fruit, everything that people need in order to survive,
it's just that the cost of living is just so high at the moment as well, and even the basics are so expensive.
It goes further than that.
I agree, it does.
The cost of living crisis is hitting everybody. This issue of poverty is hitting the lowest of the low in society, and that is it's abhorrent, and it should not be happening.
Gordon Brown's the only person who's really talking about
poverty, and he always has done.
And I think this is going to be a big problem. You know, come Starmer winning this big majority, you're going to have those backbenchers who are going to be really calling to see a scrapping of the cap on the child benefit thing, which is what Gordon Brown's saying. He wants more done on child poverty. And Starmer's saying he can't do it. He just simply can't afford to. Therein become the cracks, become huge problems. Are they unrulable? It's like the Tories all over again.
I actually genuinely believe this is going to happen. I think it's even worse if he gets this so-called supermajority, where actually the only opposition he has is his own party. This is what happened with the Tories. And so they're going to be fighting on these big issues. And we know the Labour Party's more to the left, they're more socialist. They care more about these issues, shall we say, in one way or another, and they care more about taxing them as a solution to this.
And